Hello there, Piano Roadmap students. Welcome to your classroom. Today we're learning about A major. You know, in the US, we just celebrated Thanksgiving holiday, and I got to spend some time in Michigan where I grew up. And if you know Western Michigan at all, you know that we talk like we're on the set of Fargo. So I'm going to try very hard not to let my old Michigan accent come out because during this whole lesson, I have to say A major over and over, and it's wanting to come out like A major. Oh, yeah, it just happens. It comes out A major. So I'm going to try really hard not to talk like that. Before we start our exercises, I want to review the order of sharps from last week. Remember that this is the order that the sharps are written in the key signatures. We learned the acronym Funny Cats Go Down Alleys Eating Bugs. So this tells us that in the key of G major, which has one sharp, the sharp is F sharp from funny. And then D major has F sharp and C sharp from funny and cats. Now we're doing A major and the sharps are F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Funny cats go. One little tip. Print out some free manuscript paper, just Google it, and practice writing these key signatures out. The act of writing it out, figuring it out, will help you remember what we're doing here a little better. The other thing I want to review is how to find the major key names in ascending order by number of sharps. Every time we add another sharp in a key, the name of the key goes up a fifth. So starting with C major, which has no sharps, no flats, we go up to G major, one sharp, and that's a fifth higher than C. From the key of G major, go up another fifth and you reach D. So that's D major. And now you go up another fifth from D major and we have A major. Okay, so that's it for the review stuff. Let's get into the A major exercises. Remember, I'm not explaining how to do them anymore. If you need more explanation, go to the C or G major video. The A major scale is in group 1, which means it's the same fingering as C, G, and D major scales. See if you can get the C, G, D, and A major scale hands together at about 80 beats per minute with your metronome. So we're listening for accuracy, smooth and connected notes, hands that are playing exactly together, and correct fingering. And start to practice thinking ahead of where you are in this scale. On the finger crossings, start to move your thumbs before it actually has to cross. So let's do the arpeggio now. The A major arpeggio is in group 2, so it has the same fingering as D major. And our interval exercise. So try hands together if you haven't already. And finally, our chord inversions on the 1, 4, and 5 chord. So here's a scale starting on A. And now we'll make the necessary corrections because of the key signature. The 1 chord is built on A, the 4 chord is built on D, and the 5 chord is built on E. And now we're ready to invert them. All right, now that we're familiar with the key of A major, let's learn To a Wild Rose by Edward MacDowell. This piece is simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. When I hear it, it reminds me of springtime. It's so colorful and so innocent sounding. If you're not familiar with it, this is a piece that you'll definitely want to get to know. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you all the way through. All right, from the beginning, our hands start in A position. We're in 2/4 time, and these are the rhythms that we need to know. We've got 2 eighth notes followed by a quarter, 4 eighths, 2 quarters, a half note, dotted quarter note followed by an eighth, and then an eighth note followed by a dotted quarter. If you have smaller hands like I do, you'll have to roll the chord here in the last line, and then I just repeat this bass A note in the 3rd measure, even though it's technically supposed to be tied. I can't hold on to it, and this bass note provides important harmony and color, so I'd rather just ignore the tie so that I can hear the A. Some other things to think about as you're learning this piece are dynamics. The dynamics are really important in a piece like this that's slower and that doesn't have a lot of busy finger stuff going on. It's a simple texture, and so we want to make sure that we're adding a lot of dynamics to make it sound as musical and colorful as possible. You'll also want to think about voicing. So where is the melody? If you're at an intermediate level, which you should be if you're attempting this piece, this is something you should know how to do. But I do have some practice tips for you on balancing and voicing in this video. Here, wherever it might be. So at the beginning, the melody is in the top voice, and actually it stays in the right hand pretty much throughout the piece. In the third line, the left hand starts to get more interesting, but the primary melody is still in the right hand. There are quite a few full chords, especially towards the high point of the piece around the fourth line. When I'm learning a new piece with lots of notes in the chords, I make sure to play from bottom to the top and hold each note so I can get the sound of what the chord is supposed to be. And so I only have to think about one note at a time. And eventually, for sure, you'll want to add the damper pedal, which is the pedal on the right. You can get away with pedaling at the beginning of every single measure, but still use your ear, because there might be spots that sound better to pedal every 2 measures or twice in 1 measure. Okay, so those are just a few pointers for you on that piece. Now, this piece can be quite challenging, so make sure to check out your other options. Well, there's A major for you, and I'm going to start releasing extra videos on Mondays, unrelated to this major key challenge. And as long as I'm able, I'll release 2 videos a week because I just really like you guys. I love hearing from you. Your comments are kind and supportive, so thank you. And keep asking me questions. Know that I always try my best to reply and be helpful. So I'll see you next Monday, and then next week we'll learn about the key of, you tell me, what's a fifth above A major? That's the key we'll be learning. So I'll see you then.